Welcome to Toffee TV. I am joined by Callum Snell. This is the match preview. Everton versus Cardiff City, Goodison Park, 3 o'clock this Saturday. Is there a better kick-off time than a 3 o'clock on a Saturday? Love it. Love it. Callum, welcome. I haven't seen you for a few weeks, but you're back. Thanks. Things are going all right for the Blues at the moment. And Cardiff at home at the weekend. One we should be winning.
One we should definitely be winning, yeah. I feel like it's, the way that we've been playing recently, it's definitely reason to believe that this is definitely the sort of game that we can definitely go and win.
I think when teams like these have just come up, they haven't spent a lot of money. Some teams come up and spend a lot, like Wolves, and others try to do it a different way. And I think Cardiff have kind of accepted where they are, so to speak, and Neil Warnock's trying to do it in a different way. So they've stuck with a lot of the players they had in the Championship, and obviously they were very good in the Championship. They found it a little bit tougher in the Premier League. So I think they're going to come and they've won and drawn the last couple of games, so they've improved a little bit. But I think they're going to come to Goodison and try to have a game plan of not get beaten and have a lot of men behind the ball, I should imagine.
I think so, yeah. I think that they can definitely have that sort of threat. For sure, they're a side that have come up that maybe haven't spent as much as Fulham or Wolves, like you just said. But I definitely think they're a side that I think their fans might be a little bit frustrated in a sense that maybe that sometimes they've got a result that has gone on the way, and then the next sort of week it hasn't. So therefore, they'll be feeling that they can maybe come to Goodison and maybe start a bit of a run for themselves. And I think they can maybe see it as a good opportunity for them to do that. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, Everton are very, very strong at home. We've proved that over the last few years. We've picked our home form back up. But generally, we've been strong at home since David Moyes' days. Even under Roberto Martinez, he had one season where we were dreadful at home, but the other two, we were good. And Koeman had a strong home record, and dare I say it, Allardyce, his home record was all right. And luckily, Marco took that on as well, and we've been strong this season. I think in these games, first goal is the most important.
Massively. I feel like the first goal, we were fortunate enough to get that first goal against Brighton, didn't we? Yeah. They equalised.
Yeah.
Thankfully, on the day that we had enough to get over the line. In Cardiff, I think the same applies. I feel like we need to get the first goal, and we need to be careful that we don't concede the first one, because I don't know, if they do, they might be one of them sides that just sit back, and then that might make it difficult for us. Yeah.
I think what we have to do is we have to try and pull them out into a game. Because, listen, if you're Neil Warnock, you're coming to Goodison and thinking, right, let's get everyone behind the ball, stay in the game, nothing cheap. They'll be physical because that's what his teams are. Yeah. Everton will have to be wary of that, and they'll be open to frustrate us. But what I think Everton have done well under Marco Silva, and certainly improving week by week with, is the patience when things aren't going the way it should do. I think too easily under Ronald Koeman and Martinez, to be fair, too easily we'd abandon what we were trying to do if it wasn't going well.
Panic station would set in, the red mist would come down. Yeah.
And I think we can't do. I think what we're doing this season is we're trying to, and we saw this was Everton mostly against Crystal Palace, but certainly it was there against Brighton and against Fulham. It wasn't going the way maybe we hoped it would go, because obviously you go to a game, you think, we'll get the early goal and then we'll run away with it.
Yeah.
Them games, it didn't really happen. But what Everton did well in them 3 games was we continued to pass it, we pulled them out of position, and we were patient. And as a fan base, we were patient, and it resulted in us getting over the line in those games.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like there's a belief in the side from the fans. And the fans definitely have that feeling that, this side is going to pull up some trees at some point in the game. Like you mentioned before, which is a good example, the Palace game.
Yeah.
Had that been last season, people would have been like, oh, no, we know what's going to happen here. Like, everyone starts getting frustrated, bad vibes start to come from the fans towards the players. But like you mentioned, there's been none of that. And there's definitely a belief from the fans in the players that they are going to perform, and they are going to meet the fans' expectations at home.
Who have you been impressed with so far this season? Because obviously, the manager's brought in 6th place. We've just seen Yerry Mina.
Yeah.
You know, he was the last of the new signings to perform. Who's really caught your eye this season?
The obvious answer would be Richarlison. I feel like he's definitely has the potential to be a really special player for us. But for me, I feel like the defence deserves a really big mention this season, particularly players like Michael Keane and for me, Lucas Dean.
Yeah.
I feel like the consistency of that player is something that shouldn't be overlooked. I feel like he's playing really well at the minute, and the defence, the back four looks very strong, and the fact that we have the options to switch it about, and even when we have switched it about, it looks like still a solid back line.
Yeah.
I think that's something that maybe quite a few people don't appreciate as much, how great it is to have such a strong defence as opposed to what we've had in previous years. So that's what's impressed me. Yeah,
You've got a bit of a Luca Dean going on there, haven't
I know.
you?
Yeah,
not quite as short as this, but
no, not quite as short, but you know, I do mix it up now. Yeah.
What would you do this weekend with the defence? Because obviously, you just mentioned Michael Keane there. Michael's been fantastic form this season, playing really well back in the England squad as well. Over the international break, Kurt Zuma and him had formed a really good partnership, and then obviously Kurt Zuma couldn't play against Chelsea, and Yerry Mina came into the side, and we had a clean sheet against, I think it was the first time Chelsea hadn't scored.
Oh yeah.
So that, you know, that in itself is a big thing, and I think, okay, Jordan's had to make a couple of big saves on the day, which you'd expect. Other than that, they've not really caused us too many problems. So what would you do? What if you were Marco Silva? Do you break that partnership back up and put Zuma back in, or do you just leave Mina and go to Zuma? Well, last time out the lads performed well, and
this is going to be where it's going to start becoming really interesting, I think, Baz. Obviously last weekend we saw Yerry Mina get his first 90 minutes, and you know, to say impressed was an understatement. He was really good. So I think it's a case of who gets it over Zuma and Mina, in my opinion. I feel like Keane's just playing so well at the minute. You know, he's consistent. He's been at the club a full year prior to the other two, so I feel like maybe that gives the other players a bit of a safety net playing alongside someone like Michael Keane. But for me, I think Yerry Mina might just edge it for me, only because the fee that was spent on him, I feel like you can't just spend the best part of 30 million on a defender and not play him. And also, there's the whole debate about Zuma being on loan, whether you want to keep him in the side or not for that amount of time. But to answer your question, definitely it's got to be Mina and Keane for me personally.
I think it's right. I think you're right with the transfer fee. Not so much just because we spent the money, but we spent that money for a reason. We spent that money because we've seen a lad who we think can be at the heart of our defence and be a key player for us. Michael Keane's been exceptional this season, getting better and better, and that's great for us. And Kurt Zuma's been really impressive, but he is only on loan. But the biggest thing for me to keep them together would be the last time out, because I would say it's unfortunate for Zuma, because obviously he would have, everything being equal, he'd have played at Chelsea. You know, Mina wouldn't have come in there. Mina would have still been sat on the bench because they were playing well. Keane and Zuma,
a clean sheet against one of the best sides in the country. You know,
you've got to leave it in, and you have to say to Zuma, right, they've got the shirts now. It's your job now to win it back. And that means being ready. That means if I need to switch to 3 at the back, you come in alongside them. Or it means every day in training, you show me why you should be back in the team. And then you say to Keane and Mina, it's your share to lose. You're playing well. It's your share to lose. Now, we've got a lad here who's a French international. Okay, he hasn't just been in the squad, but he was in the previous one. He's a French international here, and he wants your place. And go and do it. And I think if we can do that all over the squad, that's why we're where we are now.
And that's something we haven't had for a while, and that's something that I think we're so made up with at the minute. You know, you've got a whole back line there that are all internationals and then you've even got the backup ones, like if it is going to be the backup that's Zuma, you've even got a French centre half coming on. Like it's something that's so good, and as you mentioned then about if we can get that all over the pitch, and I think we are getting that all over the pitch. You know, with players like McCarthy, Schneiderlin, who maybe aren't in the pitch at the minute, if they can come in, it'll be some challenge to get Gomez and Garner out of the team at the minute. But like you mentioned, it's definitely exciting to have them options.
Definitely. What have you made of Andre Gomez? Because since you were last in, he's got into the side.
Yeah, last time I was in, he was just starting to come into the team. But I think from what we've seen of him, he's definitely a cut from another cloth, isn't he? He's just his composure on the ball, his passing, his vision, everything that he's doing at the minute just makes you want to sign him on a permanent deal. And I think Everton would be stupid not to knock on Barcelona's door, definitely. But like I say, it's whether we can get him or not. I think for the time being, maybe cross that bridge when we come to it. But I've been overly impressed with him. I really have, especially with Garner as well. I think he's upped Garner's game as well a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that can be nothing but good for the side. Them two in the midfield at the minute, I think they're just playing so well, and we can definitely see it in the games.
I think you're right with the Garner situation, because he can just concentrate on doing what he does best, which is nicking the ball and just being busy, getting tackles in. And I think when him and Sneijder play together, there's an onus on both of them to be more of footballers than they are, and I don't think they're good enough at that. And I think
Garner was trying to do too many things at once, wasn't he? But now he's got Gomez next to him. He feels that he's got that freedom to do what he was doing when he first came into the side, when we first signed him, and that's when we get the most out of him, and that's what we're seeing at the minute.
Yeah, and then you've got obviously Gomez alongside him. Gylfi as well. Gylfi Sigurdsson's gone up another level this season.
Just less pressure on them, I think, Baz. I think like Sigurdsson's not having to worry about maybe filling in some holes in the midfield as well. He can concentrate on his game and what made him such a success at Swansea. So it's like a big domino effect in the side at the minute. Everyone's just playing well.
Since he's come in, Sigurdsson, no Everton player's been involved in more goals than him. He's got 9 goals and 5 assists since we signed him, so it shows how key,
it's what a difference.
How key he's been for us.
Surely he's got to be sort of like close to what he did for all the last season already, hasn't he?
Definitely. I mean, I think we're seeing a player in Sigurdsson, and hopefully he's fit. We obviously be seeing him with the protective boot on after Chelsea, but early indications are, there's a good chance he's going to make it, which is great, because we want to keep, and Gomez, we want to keep that side together. We want to keep this team.
It's like the old cliche, innit? Don't change a winning side.
That's it.
So
that's it. What do you? The other, I suppose, the other area up for contention at the moment amongst Evertonians is whether Ademola Lookman comes in for Theo Walcott. Now we know that Mola was sent home early from the 21s with he took a knock in training, so hopefully he's going to be fit. We'll know more obviously at Marco Silva's press conference on Friday, but should Lookman be fit and ready for selection, do you leave Walcott in, or would you bring Lookman in for this one, knowing that we've got a lot of games coming up? I think we play something like 8 times in December, so we've got a lot of games in that 4-week period. So
it's an interesting one, definitely. I think we've been saying it for a couple of weeks now. I feel like if you are going to throw Lookman in, now's the good time to do it. At home, 3 o'clock, Saturday, Goodison Park against Cardiff. I feel like if you're going to do it now. Because if you leave it a week later to the derby and he doesn't do as well, I think the fear is there of him becoming the scapegoat a little bit, and I don't want that for him. I feel like if you are going to throw him in this game, because I feel like Walcott, never take away from how much of a good player Theo Walcott is. But I feel like if you are going to make that change, I think it has to be this weekend, providing he's fit, of course. But yeah, if I was Silva, I think I would maybe, because I feel like Walcott's had a few chances now. And he's sort of survived, and he's always been the 11. But like I say, if you are going to play him, I think now's the time to do it.
And that freshens it up again, doesn't it? That gives Theo a little bit of, a little bit of bite. I want to get back in that 11. And it gives Lookman a little pat on the back, because he started the season not great. He didn't seem like he wanted to be
going on one day,
He looked like he was sulking, but just over the last 6 weeks, attitude totally different, making more of an impact in games that he's coming on in. He's established himself as the first sub now, which I think is a key thing.
Definitely, it's a big step. It's a big step.
It's a massive thing.
Beforehand he didn't know whether he was here, there, everywhere, did he? Like he didn't know what was happening, but now he's consistently there, which is a good first step if he is going to eventually become a first team player.
Well, that's it, isn't it? And we've seen his ability when he come on against Chelsea, albeit it was in few and far between. But that one when he went, the one when he went past the 3 of them with the little nutmeg and he just ran out of pitch, you're thinking he's got that ability in tight places to take the ball. Now, it's an interesting one to see what Marco does if he is fit. This weekend. Just looking ahead, obviously, if we can get past, these will be tough. They scored at Anfield. They've scored, I think Callum Patterson's got 3 in his last 4 for them. If they win the game, it'll be the first consecutive top flight games they've won since the 50s. So there's a lot of things up for grabs. But obviously Everton are the heavy favourites. I think we looked at on the One Football app before, there was a sample size of 5,000 votes at the moment, and it's 89% for an Everton victory. So that's where they know, and obviously the odds, the bookies' odds are Everton heavy favourites. Looking ahead after this, obviously we've got Liverpool, which will take care of itself.
Oh God, yeah.
But then we've got Newcastle and Watford at home. So if you're looking at a block of 4 fixtures, we've got Cardiff, Newcastle, Watford, and obviously Liverpool are in there. But 3 of our next 4 games are at Goodison. So for me, looking at that, we've got to be looking at 9 points, haven't we? We've got to be at the very least.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think we spoke off camera before, didn't we, about how this is sort of a test in terms of, okay, Everton have got so far since, however we've started playing in this season, and now we've reached a stage now where we've been presented with Cardiff City at home. Do we continue on this good run we're on, or do we do an Everton? And then I think that'll be interesting to see. But if we come out of this with a 4-0 win, everyone's tail's going to be up going into the game next week. But no, it's like you mentioned. I don't think anyone can sort of say that this won't be a big test, because it will be. Cardiff have a lot to play for in terms of survival, and when I've watched them, they've never seemed like pushovers. They do seem like they have something to fight for, definitely so. But like you mentioned, in terms of the bigger picture, you're spot on in terms of it's definitely a chance for us to pick up some big points going into the Christmas period, definitely.
Because if we could do that, and people will probably have a go at me for just saying 9 out of 12, but I'm just taking the Liverpool game out of that for the moment, because these are home games, and these are games that we have to, if we're going to try and finish as high as we can, we have to be winning these kind of games. And if we could take at least 9 points from the next 12, then I think it sets us up perfectly for the turn of the year. We've got a couple of big games, then we've got City away and Spurs at home. But then again, after that, we've got Brighton, Burnley, Leicester. So, there's a lot of points over these next kind of 8 weeks, where if Everton can do all right points-wise, we're going to be right in the mix.
We're going to be right in there,
right in the mix.
Right in the mix, 100%. Europe's fully there to play for, of course, in the coming weeks. Talk of the FA Cup will start to emerge again.
Of course, yeah.
And it all plays into this big, massive confidence that the side can take forward, which they've been showing. And I feel like, if we can definitely pick up a load of, because like last few years we maybe haven't had the best sort of Christmas periods, have we?
No,
it's not been great. But definitely, these 2 particular games against Newcastle and Watford under the lights, get that sort of Christmassy vibe at Goodison. I feel like we can definitely start picking up a lot of points, and that's just going to be nothing but exciting going into the new year with everything still to play for.
Oh, definitely, and we would, if we were to win those games, we would be right in the mix, because obviously at the weekend there's a couple of interesting games, and if results go the way they can, Everton win, Everton will be in the top 6 on Saturday night. So that's another big boost, I think, for the club, for the fans.
To be in the top 6 in November after the last few years we've had, I think it's a massive achievement. It's a massive credit to everything that's happening at the club.
Yeah, and we're moving forward, aren't we? Prediction for the game. I never really do this, but I'm gonna do it today and put you on the spot.
I think it'll be 4-1. 4-1 Everton. 4-1. I think we're due a big win. I think we're due a big win, and I think we might just get that this weekend.
Okay, I'm gonna go 3-1. Sorry, Cardiff. I think it'll be a tough game. I'm gonna go 3-1. I think they'll score. I do think they'll score, but I'm gonna go for a 3-1 Everton victory, because I feel like we're playing very, very well. And this is the last point I'm gonna make before we finish. Coming off the international break, this is a big test for us as well. Can we pick it up? Because there's no international football now till the end of February. So we really are now through right.
It's a frustration with the Nations League and everything that's been going on. But again, if Everton can come out of it and just continue with the good form, I feel like we're definitely onto something here.
This time though, it's worked out well for us, because if we end up with Sigurdsson and Gomez both fit for Saturday, normally they'd have been out last week.
Makes a change, doesn't it?
So it might have worked out all right for us.
Makes a change, yeah. So no, it's nothing but good, No.
So me and Callum are going for an Everton victory. Let us know what you think. Cardiff fans, if you're watching this, apologies. I hope after Saturday you'll have a really good season. But after Saturday, 5 o'clock. So big thanks for Callum for
joining me. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And let us know in the comment section below if you think we will beat Cardiff City at the weekend. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And if you want more videos, get over and join us on Patreon. Catch you soon on Toffee TV.